Hello guys and welcome back to Assetto Corsa. Today we'll be taking out the Shelby Cobra on the Alps. Or should I say uphill?
No, up the Alps.
And back down the Alps.
Yeah.
And all around the Alps. Shall we come in round the mountain? Shall we come in round the mountain?
No, right. Should we start this again or should we carry on?
Let's carry on.
Let's carry on, okay. Right.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't realise when I said that shall be coming round the mountain. Never mind.
That was a really good one though.
No, it was pretty bad. Right.
Before we... Okay, never mind that. Swiss Alps, Austrian Alps. We're actually on the Austrian side here. Unfortunately, the first problem we have with this track is not the fact that it doesn't drive well or whatever. It's the fact that we cannot find this track.
We don't know who the authors are.
I downloaded this track quite a few months ago, and I swear it was off Race Department, and I can't find it anymore. So I've got the track, but I can't tell you who's made it. I can't tell you... I can't give you a link to it.
Yeah.
All I can say is that if we do find a link, we'll put it on. And if any of you know a link, please let us know.
Yeah.
Any of you know who made the track, let us know so we can actually put it in the...
put it in the description
Yeah.
box. Because honestly, you know, that aside, I really like this track. I
It is
really
really
do.
nice. Yeah.
It's not long. If I had a criticism of it, I'm going to say it's not long.
It's only 6,142 meters.
Yeah.
6.1 Ks, yes.
I mean, people say, oh, 6,000 meters long, yeah. But if it's not a circuit, when you get to the end of it, you turn around and come back.
yeah.
Okay, a circuit.
It's a sprint track, isn't it, pretty much?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. But, you know, if it was, I mean, it's up the Alps, I would have really liked, you know, maybe 2-3 times longer. Would have been much nicer so that I can, you know, race up the hill for a good 15 minutes and then back down the hill. Sort of like Trento Gondome, you know, the one the Assetto Corsa track, something like that. But nevertheless, as I run wide, and I remember at that point while I was recording that, I actually said a few seconds before that, I haven't crashed yet. And then that happened and I went, okay, I'm crashing. But obviously I didn't.
I mean, now I'm going to talk about something that you're probably going to laugh at. I think the surroundings look a bit like Far Cry.
You just love that game though.
We'll point out at this point, in this point in time, you purchased Far Cry for PS4 a few weeks back?
Yeah.
He's purchased it a few weeks back and he is absolutely addicted. Everything he sees is Far Cry now.
Honestly, I'm thinking where are the animals going to come from right now?
Donington Park, that's where.
No, but it's on a serious note. I mean, looking at the cliff faces and that, it wouldn't look out of place.
And I know exactly what you mean, that it's very, very highly detailed. And it does... See, the thing is, that gives it the immersion. To have a track, I mean, the track surface is fantastic. It's really nice. It's got some slight bumps and that in it, but you're looking at a road. It's a proper road. You're not going to get a smooth race surface. So the track, to have bumps and stuff, is great. What, like you said, with the surroundings, what that does is it brings in a whole level of... See, I'm going to get a bit closer so you can see. It brings in a whole level of new immersion to it. And I think it is really, really nice. And
very impressive.
the crash barriers, the cliff faces, the trees, it's all good. And I love these. Can you see these brake markers?
Oh yeah.
The closer they are, and the more of them they are, the sharper the turn seems to be. So I've noticed that. So I don't need a map, and I don't need to know the track. All I need to know is where these markers are. And they're nice and red, so you can always see them.
You can see it, yeah.
Right, so you can see there's a turn coming up, far, sharp.
Yeah, that's quite good actually.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That was sharp turn. Not all of them have it, obviously. The ones that you can see generally don't have them. So like this one, you can see it quite clearly. It doesn't have it. The next one probably will have it, or not. But you can see that it's not even that sharp a turn. In fact, we're at the end of the track already. See what I mean about it being a short track? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the car around now. Standard, you know, clutch, foot on the accelerator, let it spin. Rear-wheel drive car, really good. I'm surprised that it spun like that. I was expecting it to end up doing a full 360 or 720. But anyway, regardless of that, going back down the track, another small criticism I have, the shadows are quite dark. This is 1 PM in the afternoon, and the shadows are quite dark. But then again, if Assetto Corsa had lighting, you know, proper lights, I'd probably have switched on my lights and I'd be able to see.
I don't think it's that bad, to be honest.
It's not that bad.
I mean, the shadows could be because of the cliff faces as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but the problem is because Assetto Corsa doesn't have those lights where you can light up. When you go into shadow, which we're going to do, I think, in a couple of turns' time, when you go into shadow, you can't you can't see the apex of a corner. So here we're okay, here we're okay. Down here, we're gonna plunge into shadow. Now we're gonna be. You can't really see the corner.
Watch the glass window go invisible. There you go, and it's gone.
Oh, you can, yeah. Shadow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the effects are great.
I see what you mean.
But the effects are great.
And also the side window, that was pretty impressive as
Yeah,
well.
that's nice.
It's
Yeah.
still there.
No, but I'm saying that detail. Look at that. It's
That
And
level
when
of
you
detail
see
that
it.
Kunos have put
Yeah,
into the lighting
yeah,
engine,
yeah.
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I'm gonna say I really like this track. It's not something I'd race all the time because it's a bit short, but it is something that, you know, if I wanted to just throw a few cars in, I'd do it. Let's go start with you rating.
The track rating.
Track rating.
Out of 10, I'd say 7.5 because of the shortness, but it's pretty detailed. Yeah, I think 7.5 is just about right.
I think that's probably the low end. I'll probably give it something closer to a 9.
I'm
Really?
gonna.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I'm gonna give it an 8.5 as
Yeah,
we're coming
because
to the
I'll
end.
be honest, I can't fault this track other than the fact that it's short.
Yeah.
But then again, is that really a fault?
That's not really a fault. That's the
Yeah.
nature of the track.
Yeah.
Same-
I think I'm giving it a 7.5 because I haven't raced on this track.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
if
is
I
true.
raced on it, I'd give it a higher rating.
I think the level of detail on this track, I could easily give it a 10.
yeah,
But
it does
I'm-
warrant a high.
But
mark.
I like the circuits, so
Yeah, I understand.
that's probably why
Yeah.
I'm giving it. But I can't fault this track, and I really don't know why it's not on Assetto Corsa.
My rating is basically based on just my personal opinion,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But
Well, mine's also based on my personal opinion.
Like I said, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 because I think the shortness is what lets it down for me.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's great, and I think we're actually coming up to the end of this track. So overall, if you say 7.5 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, and 8.5, average 8.5 out of 10.
8.5, yeah.
So I think it's really well done. Like I said again, we'd like to thank the author, but we don't know who
thank
he
you,
is.
whoever you are, who made this track. We'll try to put a link in the description if we can find it.
Yeah, if we can find it, we'll put a link in the description. If any of you know, let us know as we come around these final few corners that we've got to go. After this track, just stay tuned because obviously the video is going to continue, and we're going to take on a track that we do know where it is, and we will be able to link in the description box. But for now, we'll just leave you with the final few corners.
Hello guys, we're back, and this time we're racing the Sierra Cosworth at the Karelia cross track.
Yep. I mean, I know we raced this track, not track.
Car.
We've raced this car before, but there has been an update to the car, and there's so many new versions of it. We're still taking the stock version out, and at the moment, I'm kind of lost. I don't know how to get onto the track.
Is this like a lot of different liveries or?
A lot of different liveries, and there's 4 versions of the
Is
car.
there a lot of liveries that just...
Yeah, there's a good 80 liveries
Yeah,
or something.
I've
in
seen
there.
it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
So and there's different versions of the car as
Different
well.
versions of the car as well. There's a drift version, stock version, DTM version, and a Group A version. We're in the stock version because this is the
So
only
there's
version.
4 cars.
4 cars in one pack.
Wow.
Nice.
Right. The reason I was going around and round there
Figuring
is because
out.
I couldn't figure out how to get out onto this track. This is actually the first rallycross track in Assetto Corsa, and I thought it'd be really, really good to show. It's a version 1.0, which means there are going to be no further updates. However, I personally don't think it needs any further updates. So,
I mean, I drove this car on this track. I mean, I didn't crash it as much as you did.
I was just having fun drifting in the
Yes,
car.
well, so did I. So was that. But it was a bit of a terror, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To drive.
and you know, I did I think 9 laps of this. 9 laps of this car, and I was trying to really push it. And when you're trying to push it, and the way I was having to move the steering wheel, I'll be honest, I've had a slightly sore arm the past week. But you know, when I was driving the Shelby earlier, it didn't affect it. This one, it did affect it. I started feeling it getting quite stiff and painful. So yeah, it's quite an intense track. And as you'll see throughout this video, I do make a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, but that is, I mean, I made more mistakes in my 1 lap than you did in your whole 9 laps, which I mean, it is a very difficult car to drive, and also this track doesn't make it any easier.
I was just thinking, can you imagine a LaFerrari on this? You know what? Off this video, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna put a LaFerrari on here and see what happens.
Yeah, you won't.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
You're gonna ruin the whole bottom side of the car.
Yeah, and the sides, and the
And
front.
the front, and the roof.
Yeah,
Because
The
I
whole
wanna end
car.
up- Yeah.
yeah. And we leave damages on. I think that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. On here, obviously, damage is off.
Yeah.
I really should have put it on
Yeah,
because I think they've now implemented a damage model, so I should have put it on. But a bit of a, hindsight's a wonderful thing. So
Oh, isn't this the video where something really interesting happens?
something interesting happens in all our videos. I'd like to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
I think
know
this
what you
one's
mean.
quite.
It's
because
funny. It's
you
funny.
recover from it.
Yeah, it is funny. But anyway, Karelia Cross. It's an all-factor track, surprisingly, but it has been converted. So the original author was Kit X, and it has been converted with permission by race department user TTM75.
Yeah.
So he has converted with permission, and he's brought it up to Assetto Corsa standards, and you can see it is up to Assetto Corsa standards.
And it's the final track.
And it is a final version. He did say he's not going to be updating anymore, so he can work on other projects.
Okay.
And in terms of being up to Assetto Corsa standards, I'd say it is.
Definitely, yeah.
It's the trees are they don't have collision boxes.
But I know there's people up there.
Yeah, there's people up there. The trees don't have collision boxes, so if you did go into them, you're just going to sort of merge through them, which is fine, because generally you do want to stay on the track, and when you're pushing, you are going to end up crashing off a lot. We haven't tried going into the water.
I nearly did.
You nearly did when you were
Nearly,
driving, yeah.
yeah.
But we haven't tried going in the water. But apart from that, I like you were mentioning about the Alps track, where the detail outside of the track itself is what makes the track feel quite realistic. It's the same thing here.
Yeah.
You've got these rocks everywhere.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, this track, the ideal car for this track would be something like a quad bike.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think
No,
a rally
but
car
this
like
is
this
a
would
rally
be.
car, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels too narrow.
I know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think that's kind of the whole point of rally cars,
yeah,
isn't it?
that is the point of
It
a track
takes
like this.
skills to drive a car like this.
Yeah. It's like if in doubt, flat out, which is what I ended up doing at one point. I did completely Colin McRae it, which doesn't end well, but you're about to find out how exactly that ended. Nevertheless, this track,
Is this track a fictitious track, or?
I don't know. I really don't know.
'Cause
It looks fictitious.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, it looks sort of North America.
It's Russia.
Ah, okay.
It's actually
So
says Russia.
same. No, it's not the same country, but same sort of climate. I think. North
Yeah,
America,
and- yeah.
Canada slash.
Yeah, it is that kind of
yeah.
climate.
You can tell it's going to be covered in snow.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see this place covered in snow. So
But whether it's a real track or not, I'm completely unsure of that. Right, as I come along this back, I love this part of the track. You know, it's these bumps.
yeah.
As we go over these 1 and 2, like that. If you're putting your foot down, you can actually feel it in the steering wheel. You can feel only one wheel lifting off at times, and it's an incredible.
It does
feeling.
go very light, doesn't it?
It does, but it's an incredible feeling. Anyway, we're just going to move away from this for a little while, because I had a very strange experience on Tuesday with Assetto Corsa. I loaded up my Steam and I saw that it says update queued. So I thought, Tuesday, it's not usually a day for an update, and it seemed that the 1.1 beta had been released. So I was quite excited because I thought, oh, that's it, I know what we're going to do in this weekend's video. We're going to, talk about this as I bump and crash. That's incident number
Ouch.
1. What happened is I took the turn wrong before, and I just lost it. I was on the brakes, but the car was going nowhere. Right, and 1.1 beta was released, and I thought, okay, this is good. And then a couple hours later, there was another patch, and 1.1 beta disappeared. And I thought, okay, this is odd. I got to see a few of the things. I saw a few of the things that have been introduced and improved. What I'm not going to do, though, is I'm not going to talk about them.
Yeah.
In a sense, I'm just going to mention some of the things that may be coming. But I don't want to talk about these because obviously there is a reason that Kunos has rolled this back, and it's got to be a good reason. So I don't want to start, saying, oh well, why did you do this, Kunos? I understand that you've rolled it back. That's fine. Not going to argue with that. I do know though that there's been the update log anyway. Read things like improved AI,
which is what I'm going to be looking forward to.
Yeah. It improved things like rendering options.
Yeah.
It improved sound, so they did do F-mod sound things. It's improved. It did. Remember we were talking about that static weather. Weather.
Yes.
It introduced that.
Okay.
So, but it was limited again. They did mention it was limited, and they fixed a few things here and there. A bit to do with the FPS and fuel consumption.
There's about 25 different things that have improved,
but we're not going to mention all of them. One I do want to mention though, because it's just funny. I'm going to read this directly off the changelog. Is suicidal server admins are now a protected species and are not allowed to kick themselves anymore.
I saw that one as well.
Speaking of kicking themselves, I have gone full on. I don't know who would have done that. Colin McRae, Tommy Mackian, Richard Burns,
and then all of us
Ken Block,
and it's sliding down.
And now this, I don't know what happened. Gravity seemed to change direction here, because I was doing 18 miles. I was doing about 16 miles an hour, and then right to myself, and
you're back.
Well, I know what happened there. There's a barrier just there that I hit, and it just flipped me back.
It's like you went all the way across the.
You see, I'm not sure what happened there. If anything, that's got to be one glitch.
Yeah.
But then again, how often are you going to flip a car? Actually, it's a rally track. You're going to flip a car quite a bit. But anyway, so I like that one changelog that they made. I thought that was quite funny. Because I can't understand on multiplayer why a server admin will kick himself. So now they are a protected species.
Maybe it was just a little joke.
Maybe. But there have been a number of changes, but I'm not going to mention any more. Some of them are quite significant. But until Kunos officially release version 1.1 beta, we're not going to talk anymore.
I think they're probably going to release it in the next few days.
I think it's going to be next week. I think it's going to be this next Friday coming up.
Hopefully we'll have something for you next week.
Yep, I hope so. And obviously, we're still awaiting that Dream Pack. Now, I think this has to come out before the Dream Pack, this update. Because I think this update is going to include things. Actually, I can see that this update is going to include things that will be definitely necessary for some of the cars in the Dream Pack.
Yeah.
Which the cars that I can't wait for is the Lamborghinis coming.
That's going to be 2016, so you don't have to wait a while.
Oh.
But
I'm
actually,
sure time will fly by.
While I'm driving around this, while we are talking about future of Kunos and stuff like that, we all know that the Nordschleife was scanned, and we all know that Zandvoort is going to be coming as a free track later on. What I've just recently learnt, as of last week, when we did that video last week, is they have gone and laser scanned Circuit de Catalunya.
The circuit we done last week?
The circuit we drove last week as a mod, they have actually gone and laser scanned it. So we're going to get an official version of that track. And I'm really looking forward to that because, as you know, that is one of my all-time favourite tracks.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. And the mod creator has actually said that he will be doing no further updates on the Catalonia track now. Unless, of course, he decides to change his mind or anything. But his intention is to do no further updates since the laser scan one is going to be coming out. Then again, the track's great at the moment. Anyway, as with this track, Karelia Cross, it's fun. It is really, really fun. And we are going to leave a link to this one in the description box below because we can see it, right? And this is how. This is what happened at the moment. I spun it, and I've
managed to go back into the pit.
I'm back into the pit. Well, this is actually called the paddock area, not a pit lane.
You meant this, didn't you?
Yep. And on that note, I think we should end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of Assetto Corsa.